There was no one, and there was a bike coming on my way, and my instant reaction in my hometown would be to freak out. My instant reaction would be like, this person is gonna rob me 100%. But here, like, it's just extremely safe. It's really street safe.
브라질에서 온 페드로는 한국인 여자친구의 가족을 만나기 위해 평생 처음으로 한국 땅을 밟았습니다. 그에게 한국은 너무나 생소하고 낯선 나라였는데요. 말로만 듣던 모습과 실제 경험해본 한국에는 어떤 차이가 있었을까요? 그는 충격적인 한국의 모습에 대해 솔직하게 이야기했습니다. 영상 함께 보시죠.
Today is my last week here in Korea. I've been here for 9 weeks now, and there are some really interesting things that I've noticed. Now, I'm from Brazil, and I lived in Australia for the past year, so I think this will be my perspective on these things. I will always compare to back home in Brazil and to some things that I experienced in Australia. Now, one thing that I absolutely love about Korea is the size of the buildings. I love how they build stuff here. They really don't care about how tall the buildings are. So you go to neighborhoods that are in the middle of nowhere, and you're gonna see high-rise skyscrapers mixed with rice fields. So you see rice fields, and then you see a building that is like 40 levels tall, right next to each other. I think Koreans understood that they have a pretty small country and a relatively big population for the size of the country. So they understood that if they don't build up, there's not going to be enough housing, you know? And I love that because you can feel how modern it is. Everything is modern, everything is new. The buildings are tall. I have this feeling of like I'm in a developed place, you know? You can see around. This is a common landscape in pretty much every single city I've been here. Big condo apartments and nice parks, nice walking areas. So I love the neighborhoods here. One thing that was really big for me is how Koreans greet each other. I was raised in a household and by a family that we hug each other all the time and we shake hands, and like in my country, like you have to shake hands, you know? And if you're like even remotely connected to a person, you usually hug them, you know? So coming here and seeing that nobody really hugs each other and shaking hands is rare was pretty different for me, you know? Because my girlfriend is Korean, and I often when I meet her family, I often go for a hug, and like they don't do this here, you know? And this is a big difference for me. I think that's the thing that would take a really long time for me to get used to. So what they do instead is that they just bow, you know? They just do this, and that's it. You know, it's like hello, this, and that's it. So that was a big one for me. One really big thing for me is the safety here. Comparing to my country, where very few places are extremely safe, here is just incredible to see how safe it is, you know, and to see little kids taking public transport and nobody cares at night, you know. Like yesterday I went for a run and I was in a pretty desert street. There was no one, and there was a bike coming on my way, and my instant reaction in my hometown would be to freak out, you know, like I'm lonely, like I'm by myself, it's dark outside, and there's a bike coming on my way. Like my instant reaction would be like, this person is gonna rob me 100%. But here, like, it's just extremely safe. It's really street safe, you know. There are no drugs, no homeless people. Really rarely robberies happen, you know. So yeah, it's super safe here, and it's the best feeling ever. It's like I feel like every society should be as safe as here, you know. This is how to live life, you know. I've been here for 2 months, and I think I saw one homeless people in Seoul, and it was only in Seoul, because like this city here, we're in Jeonju, there was none. I didn't see anyone using drugs. I just saw like once in Seoul a drunk guy sleeping on a bench. That was it. and a guy begging on the subway station. Besides that, I haven't seen anything else. Everywhere else I've been looks like this, you know, just peaceful. Sometimes kids playing around and families and people are going for walks, and yeah, just like a really peaceful vibe. So now the other thing that I have to talk about is in relation to Korean people. So this was one thing that surprised me. I kind of had an expectation that Koreans would be nice people, but I got really surprised to see how nice Koreans are. Everybody speaks English to me. Everybody smiles to me. The customer service is really nice. Everybody has been extremely polite. I think that's a really big thing here. People are very polite, and it's different from the stereotype that I had. So like, people always told me that Koreans are not the friendliest people, and they're very shy and they're not gonna openly talk to you. And I just had the opposite experience. People have been very friendly. People have always talked to me, and they like speak English when they don't have to speak, and that's really nice, you know? Imagine a Korean going to an English speaking country. I think people wouldn't receive them in the same way that Koreans receive tourists here, you know? I don't think anybody would stop speaking English in an English speaking country just to please a Korean tourist. But they do this here, you know? And this has been really nice. Plus the fact that everybody smiles, and I have felt a really good vibe overall. Now we're walking to a park, and I'm gonna tell you what is the last thing that kind of shocked, or like that kind of went on the opposite direction from my previous expectations. Everybody knows Korea is famous for its skyscrapers and big cities and economic development. But one thing that I didn't think about coming to Korea was the nature. And that's really something that was a big surprise for me. I'm now in one of the nicest parks. Korea really has a mix of city life, urbanization, with nature and mountains and rice fields. And I think Koreans really enjoy the nature their country has, especially on summer. So they go to rivers, they go to waterfalls, they go to the beach. And I only thought of Korea as a place with big cities and cold weather, but my experience here was absolutely the opposite. There are birds flying around, there are ducks in this lake. These are lotus flowers, and this lake is really, really beautiful when these flowers blossom. And right at the corner, there are some crazy mega skyscrapers. So that's absolutely amazing. And yeah, it was incredible to hike on some mountains here. It was incredible to visit the beaches. So don't underestimate the beauty of Korean nature and the beauty of this country, you know?